Naram Chaiva Naram Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayesho Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatottama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtike Om Jnana Tamirandasya Dhananjana Shamakya Chakshurannalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Tamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Rupesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue today morning reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 12 and Text 26. Vidhi kamo bruva krodho lobas chatra dada chadatas yad pak sindhavo medran nirti hi payor aghashraya. Lust and desire became manifested from the heart of Brahma, anger from between his eyebrows, greed from between his lips, the power of speaking from his mouth, the ocean from his penis, and low and abominable activities from his anus, the source of all sins. Just yesterday we were reading about lust in Bhagavad Gita. That lust is the all sinful desire, all devouring sinful enemy of every living entity. And that lust manifested from the heart of Brahma because he's creating all these things. A conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculation. It's very important. Prabhupada's choice of words, conditioned soul. In our pure state, we don't do mental speculation. Now, what's our conditioning? I'm the body. Now, because we are thinking in the body, what do? What we think, what we feel is whatever I'm thinking is correct. And then the mind is very imaginative and can think in all sorts of ways. And then we really believe that I'm right. However great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Therefore, it is very difficult to give up lust and the desires for low activities until one is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. So mentally, how much ever we try to control the mind and senses, those activities we'll be able to control, but because the seeds of those seeds, the seeds for sinful desire is still in the heart, we will act on it in one life or the other, one day or the other. The only way that these seeds can be removed, that we can actually get free from these desires is take up devotional service. One is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. When one is frustrated and lust and low desires, anger is generated from the mind and expressed from between the eyebrows. So when our desire is not fulfilled, then we get angry. We feel it's our right that all our desires should be fulfilled. Everything should go according to my plan and everyone should act according to my plan. And when that does not happen, then we get angry. Ordinary men are therefore advised to concentrate the mind by focusing on the place between the eyebrows, whereas the devotees of the Lord are already practiced to place the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the seat of their minds. So what does it mean? The devotees of the Lord are already practiced to place the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the seat of the mind. Means they're already thinking, oh, if I do this, is it going to be pleasing to the Lord? Or it's not going to be pleasing. So their minds are already fixed on the Lord. So they do not need to uh, artificially focus on anything else. We just have to see, oh, if I get angry, will the Lord be pleased with me in this situation? If I act in this way, is it going to be pleasing to Krishna or is it not? The theory of becoming desireless is untenable because the mind cannot be made desireless. So the path of renunciation, the path of Gyan Marg, the Gyanis, they choose the path of desirelessness, that we are going to give up all desires, that everything is neti, 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 not this, not that. But it's actually, we cannot become desireless because even to have a desire to become desireless is a desire. I want to become desireless. That's a desire. I want to control my mind and senses. That's a desire. I want to give up this material world. That's a desire. So we can never be desireless. A devotee of the Lord always has the Lord in his mind, and thus he does not need to be desireless because all his desires are in relationship with the service of the Lord. So a devotee, what does he do? He does not artificially want to become desireless. No, he desires, okay, let me do work in such a way that the Lord will be pleased. What can I do to please the Lord? How can I please the Lord? If I do this, will it be pleasing to the Lord? So that's what a devotee is always thinking. The power of speaking is called Saraswati, or the goddess of learning. And the birthplace of the goddess of learning is the mouth of Brahma. Power of speaking is called Saraswati, or the goddess of learning. So we, I don't know if you know, exam time, how much, we as children also used to pray to Mother Saraswati, or let us do well in our exams. And because Saraswati Devi, she is the goddess of learning, and we are seeing that she is appearing from the mouth of Brahma. But if we just pray to Krishna, even, oh Krishna, please help me in our exam, it's a better situation. Mother Saraswati is happier with that. If a man is endowed with the favor of the goddess of learning, it is quite possible for his heart to be full of lust and material desire, and his eyebrows to display symptoms of anger. What does it mean? Somebody is endowed with the favor of goddess of learning. Means in material education, somebody might be very highly educated. It's not easy getting all those degrees. Some of you have to work so hard. Material education, it's very hard. You have to work. And then so what happens is sometimes when a person is so educated, then the heart becomes hard. I'm better than others. I work so much, so I deserve more. Because I'm better than the others, I become more. And because then, if that is not fulfilled, then one may become angry. So one may be very learned in the mundane estimation, but that does not mean that he is free from all low activities of lust and anger. So nowadays, we don't see what is the qualities of the person. We just see what they have. Oh, they have material degrees, so must be a good person. Oh, this person is so attractive looking, so beautiful looking, so must be a good person. This person is so good in this sport, so must be a good person. But we don't see, do they actually have good qualities? That is what is attractive. The good qualities, the Brahmanical qualities. We should try to attempt to cultivate those Brahmanical qualities. And that's what attracts Krishna. Good qualifications can be expected only from a pure devotee who is always engaged in the thought of the Lord or in samadhi with faith. So what does it mean that the pure devotee is in samadhi? Does it mean he doesn't do anything and he's just sitting like how we see Lord Shiva sitting in meditation? No, what is a pure devotee? What does it mean a pure devotee is in samadhi? He takes up all sorts of activities. He does all sorts of work for the pleasure of Krishna. That is samadhi. His mind is fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. And then such a pure devotee, what happens? He has all the good qualities. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that all the divine qualities are present in the pure devotee. So the more we hear and chant, the good qualities will be developed in us. We have to cultivate them also, but we will also have the desire to cultivate such qualities. So that's why we always advise to hear and chant more. Well, not only to cultivate good qualities, hearing and chanting is because we are associating with Krishna, but good qualities comes as a byproduct then. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any thoughts or comments?
So I was just thinking that, as you mentioned, that the lust and it was created from Brahmaji's heart.
Yeah.
Desire and lust, right?
Yeah, because lust is in the mode of passion, right? We heard yesterday in Bhagavad Gita. Lust born from the mode of passion.
Okay.
So passion is there in the heart. Brahma's desire. Desire, the heart is the seat, no?
Yeah.
Of all desire. So we always thinking it's the mind. In the modern education, we are thinking everything is, all this is in the mind. But the Vedas teach us that it's all in the heart, actually. And what's the mind? Mind is the mirror of the heart. What is the situation of the heart? That will be our thoughts, our conscious, our mind will be like that. And so we need to purify that.
That's why we say Chetu Darpan Marjanam. So we are cleaning the mind, right?
Cleaning the dust from the mirror of the heart.
Oh, mirror of
the heart. Anyway, it's the same thing. What happens is the heart gets cleaned because these lusty desires, the seeds are deep in our heart. So we are thinking it's the mind, but it's in the heart actually. Not the physical heart. Not that if we do surgery, we are going to say, hey, look, there is lust here, or there's, the subtle heart. And these things we have cultivated since time immemorial, because we are here since time immemorial. And so what has happened is, with each change of bodies, with so many change of bodies, that's what we have been carrying with ourselves from one body to another. And that's what our attachments are. And that's why they are called unwanted attachments, anarthas. So it needs a little self-reflection. And if we are willing to do self-reflection, then we can see these things.
So those impressions we carry with us, right? The next birth.
Yes. The impressions we carry, all these desires are there in our subtle body when we are going from one body to another. And you know what? That's the reason we feel, oh, change of body, it's okay. I've given up so many bodies. Yeah, I know I'm going to die one day. So big deal, I've done it before. But you know what we have never done before is given up our subtle body. The subtle body has been with us since time immemorial, since we are here. What is that subtle body? Our mind, intelligence, and false ego. So the samskaras are all in this, right? The impressions are all in this. Our consciousness, we have this material consciousness. That is what we have never given up. And that's why it's so difficult for us to change our consciousness. very difficult for us to look, oh, what's happening? What cleaning do I actually have to do? And then because of that, we don't want to clean inside. Then what do? We start cleaning, see the dirt outside. Oh, this one is so dirty. And that one is so dirty. Then we try and start looking faults outside because we don't want to look at it inside. So what happens is by chanting, when we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, then gradually we become aware, oh, what I was thinking is outside is actually inside, Inside is what I need to clean, not outside. And so that is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That's the first result of what we get by chanting the holy name. And the same chanting of the holy name, as we clean our heart, as our heart gets clean, it's going to give us the highest Krishna prema, love for God.
And where do our lust and desire come from? It's from the mind, right? From the heart.
In our heart. It's there in our heart. Yeah, anyway, the mind, you can see, because the mind is the mirror of the heart. So, like how we are seeing ourselves in the reflection in the mirror.
Okay.
So it's like that. So it's there in our heart. And then what happens is, when we indulge in a sinful activity, so we indulge in the sinful activity, right? So this is explained in the Nectar of Devotion. What happens is, then it creates many other seeds which are embedded in the heart, which will fructify later as bijam. It's called bijam. It creates many, many more sinful desires. And so that's why it becomes like a chain. So it's not that, we indulge in one sinful activity and then that's it. But what happens with that, many other desires come, and those are there in the heart, very deep in the heart. So even if we do some prayaschit, some fasting, some bathing, pilgrimage, going to holy pilgrimage, taking a bath, charity, penance. Okay, so the sinful reactions, they go away, which are already matured. But what doesn't go away is the desire to sin. That desire to sin, that gets more and more when we engage in sinful activity. And that desire to sin can be changed only with the Hare Krishna mantra, Harinam Sankirtan, and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why we advise, Lord Caitanya said, chant every day, hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. They both help us with that. And serve the devotees. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We say that every day. Right? Serve the devotee and serve the Bhagavatam. So regularly serving. So service of devotees. Then what happens is gradually this desire of ours to sin will go away. This was yesterday we were reading that Arjuna is asking Krishna, what is it that one is impelled to sinful activities or Krishna? As if even without will, like why are we forced to act in a sinful way? I don't want to act in a sinful way, but I'm still doing it. What's the reason? It's because of this desire to sin, which is called lust. And then the more we hear, we shouldn't feel guilty. We shouldn't feel dejected. We shouldn't feel, oh, I'm so sorry for myself. Oh, okay, sure, we should, but not in not in a depressed way, but in an honest way. Oh yes, I have these things. I have them since time immemorial. Now what do? Now I have to hear and chant. Because some people tend to get guilty. Oh, I have these sinful desires. I'm so bad. I'm good for nothing. No, those things we should not feel. It's a fact we have those. That's why we are here. Rather, let us look at it in an honest manner and try to make a solution out of
it. Right.
Yeah. Don't get into that guilt thing. Many people, once they take up devotional service, once we start hearing, oh, really? I have these things in my heart. I never knew it. I thought I was the greatest person, and now I'm realizing this thing. Then we start feeling guilty. Oh, why do I have this? Because guilt is a symptom of low self-esteem. And then that is actually false pride, packaged as low self-esteem. That's a symptom of pride also. So we should, in fact, instead say, Well, what to do? It's true, I am at this position. But what can I do? Well, what can I do? I can just do what the acharyas are telling me, hear and chant and serve the devotees.
How
And
to
then,
rectify, no? Right.
yeah, that's what I can rectify as. That's all I can do. And then the result is not in my hand. Result is only in the hands of Krishna. I'm at the mercy of Krishna. I can only put the effort. Krishna is going, then it's up to Krishna. The effort is what? That I will hear and chant and serve. That's the effort. And then the result is what? The mercy of Krishna. He within the heart will keep giving us more and more. He will reveal himself more and more. He will give us these realizations. You know, when sometimes we get some realizations. That is mercy of Krishna. We think, Arey, wow, I'm so great. You know, I got this realization. But where were we earlier? We never got that before. How come we have it now? It's because it's the mercy of Krishna. We just like to take the credit for things ourselves.
And it's true, you know, when you start chanting, you start reading, somehow the desires for doing something material, I don't know, it lessens. At least I feel, you know, like now more downs we are doing, like I'm doing more downs, then I feel, yeah, the desire, like, you know, to do other stuff, it's decreased.
Yes, that is so true. Okay, now let's read. I'll tell you what you're feeling and why you're feeling. Now, this is reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, Chapter 16. Okay, Shushrusho Shadanasya Vasudeva Katharuchihi Shyan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevana Shanvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridi Antastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kama Lobhadayaschaye Cheta Eter Anavitam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manoso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantis Chidyante Sarva Shamshaya Shiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Evat Manishware. Okay, so I was not reading this by heart. I've not memorized it. So please don't think I know so much. I'm just reading it. So the translation, O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So why we are always said, serve the devotees, the pure devotees. Why? Because by serving such devotees who are completely freed from all vice. Completely freed from all vice means they have only pure desire. They're pure devotees. When we serve such devotees, what happens? We gain an affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. We get an attraction to hear about Krishna. Otherwise, we are not interested. Why so many people we tell them, oh, come listen to the reading something, but we are not interested. Why? Because we have not served a devotee. So we need to serve a devotee. Like now we are serving Srila Prabhupada by hearing from his books. We are reading his books. We are serving Srila Prabhupada. Okay, then Sri Krishna, then what happens? Okay, when one gets an affinity for hearing the messages, then Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee. So Sri Krishna, he's the Paramatma in everyone's heart. And he's the benefactor, means he's our best well-wisher, Krishna. He's the benefactor, okay? And then of the truthful devotee, means sincerity. Are we really sincere to hear about him? Then what he does, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So it's Krishna within the heart that he takes away our material desires. You know, we are just developing a desire to hear. And then he sees the sincerity. And what are his messages? We have to hear them properly, submissively, attentively. That's how we have to hear them. In a service mood, in a submissive mood, in an attentive mood. We have to hear and chant these things. When we do that, Krishna takes our desire. Then by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. So what is actually troublesome to the heart? What is troublesome to the heart? Are all this lust, anger, greed, pride, false ego. That is what is troublesome to the heart. That is what gives pain to us. And how it's almost completely. We see it's almost completely, not total, almost. There's still going to be something there. But how? By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to who? To the pure devotee. You have to serve the pure devotee. Loving, and then what happens when these anarthas are almost completely destroyed? Loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Irrevocable fact. It's not that, once we start loving Krishna, we're going to stop loving him. No, it doesn't happen that way. Spiritual life, that's what it is. Where we leave off, that results are never wasted. It's never that in this life I studied my BCom and then after I die and then next life I again have to start learning ABCD and again I have to do BCom. That I'll have to, and if whatever education, whatever, that we have to do materially. But spiritual life, no. Once the heart is almost clean, what happens is loving service to the Lord is established as an irrevocable fact. Irrevocable fact. It's a fact. It's going to happen and it's not going to be taken away. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. So right now, what is not keeping us happy is this lust, desire, and hankering. Because they are coming from passion and ignorance. We are in the mode of passion and ignorance. So we have this lust, desire, and hankering. So when we continue to hear Bhagavatam, serve the pure devotee, hear and chant Krishna's names, pastimes, then this lust, desire, hankering will keeping on reducing and then become completely happy. When they completely disappear, the devotee becomes completely happy. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness. Means this mode of goodness is not the material mode. He's transcended the modes now. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness. The man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. So then what happens? He is established in unalloyed goodness, and then because of he has no lust, desire, and hankering, his heart is not painful, his mind is not painful, so he's happy. Completely happy, mind is enlivened. And what does he get? He gets the true gyan, the positive scientific knowledge, scientific experience. Science means we apply the knowledge, application of knowledge. That is science. So then we get that. And why is it called liberation? Because we are above the modes of nature. That means liberation. Then thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Then what happens? All these things that are keeping us here in the material world, all our entanglements and attachments, everything that's keeping, it's cut, just cut. Misgivings, we don't have any more misgivings. No, we have no grudges, we have nothing, no lamentations. Shamshaya, everything is just gone. We don't care about all these things. Then who do we see? We see ourselves and we see the Lord. We see, oh, I am a servant of the Lord. And then in that situation, one does not engage in any fruitive activities, no ordinary karma. He knows, I don't need to act anything for myself. What I need to do is just serve the Lord. So we can see how it begins. It begins by serving a devotee. By serving a devotee, we get the desire to hear. When we continue, we regularly hear and chant Krishna's names and pastimes and serve a devotee. Then our desire lasts. Everything gradually, it goes away. So these are the stages that are mentioned in Bhagavatam.
Long way to go.
But it started. It is started. We are experiencing it. That's why we continue doing it. Right? We are experiencing it. It's not that we are not experiencing it. You know, do you see yourself before you started hearing and chanting, how you would feel, and now how you would feel? How is your for example, when certain situation comes up in life, how is your reaction to it? How do you interact with it? You know, it is happening. It is happening. That's why we are experiencing it, and that's the reason we want to continue doing it, because we are feeling that. So it's not an artificial process.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm sorry we were not able to complete this purport. We'll read it tomorrow. But because it was like related to these things, it's read from the earlier chapter. So thank you so much for joining in today morning.
I think we completed the purport, so that's okay.
Huh?
We completed
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Oh yes.
Yeah,
so,
we completed the purport. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Bol.